So this is the Nike Air Max 90, and it's called the SP, which is Special Projects, and it's by Patta, and it's called the Cyber colorway. And this were originally released in 1990, hence why the Air Max 90. And they're made as a running shoe back in the day, and they were designed by Tinker Hatfield, who designed so many other, I guess, trainers from Jordan Brand and also from Nike. And this one being a collaboration with Patta, who, as far as I know, are a brand in Netherlands and basically a streetwear brand. And yeah, so decided to collab with Nike again. So they originally did the Air Max 1 and had quite, I think, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 different models of those, and they have done other things like the Hirachi hybrid trainer that they did with the Pegasus outsole midsole, and then these ones as well. So this is another pair of Pattas that I picked up. So I did pick up the Air Max 1 as well, the chlorophylls that came out last year, so I was lucky to hit on those on the sneakers app. And same again with this pair, which I'm surprised about in all honesty, because I was thinking I was going to miss out on them, just because of the stock numbers, which were roughly around 1,500 on the sneakers app apparently in the UK and EU. I'm not sure I believe that, to be honest, but that's kind of what was said on there. But again, probably one of the lucky ones, but to me it looks like a lot of people hit on these, so I personally think maybe those numbers aren't quite correct, in my opinion. However, the shoe is very cool in my opinion, and the details, it comes in a particle grey, neutral grey and cyber and black colourway. So the cyber is a different take on the Vault colourway, which is classic to the Air Max 90 and I suppose these early 90s sneakers. And as you can see, the colour is slightly more, has a sort of green sort of hue tint to it. Still yellow, but like I said, it's going more on the green side, which I kind of think is cool. To be honest, I was originally eyeing up the Sapphire pair, but having these in hand, I'm kind of glad I went with the Vault, because I don't really have too many of this type of colourway. And it also has an air unit in the heel that you can still see here. This is very similar to the Air Max 1, but I find these ones probably more comfortable slightly than an Air Max 1. And this also has an EVA midsole as well, so it's one of those ones where it's sort of that in-between model really, but I think in terms of comfort it's pretty much kind of there. And it's also pretty much made up of all textile materials, so as you can sort of see, it's very much similar to the Air Max 90 that you normally see. I think I like the mesh quality is probably similar, however, when you go around the sort of toe box area, this is kind of made up of this sort of rough suede type material, going towards maybe nubuck. And then I actually like the paneling on here. It's kind of got this sort of silky, velvety type touch to it, and you can probably hear like it's almost sort of vinyl-y. And then the swoosh is more kind of the sort of, I suppose, synthetic plasticky material. So overall I think the quality, I just generally like this type of material, this vinyl print that they've got on the wavy pattern. I think that works really, really well. Apart from that, it's pretty similar to what you'd get on a standard sort of Air Max 90. And the price of these is £145, which isn't too bad for a collab. So the comfort and sizing, like with any other Air Max 90, it's pretty much similar. It's very sort of, I suppose, neutral on foot in a way, but also, you sort of sit slightly higher up, similar to the Air Max 1. Especially on the sort of heel side, because obviously they're made as a runner, so you're supposed to be kicking off with your forefoot, so that's the reason for it. But it's not like it feels like horrible on foot. I actually think these are quite comfortable, and they're quite sort of lightweight as well, which I was surprised about after wearing the pair, after a little while, I guess. And they do also have sort of good sort of neutral arch support, so as you can sort of see, if I look at the insole, you've got a little bit of contour there for your arch, but it's not too much support in all honesty. It's still sort of very sort of neutral, but most runners are kind of made like that. And as you can sort of see, the insole as well has got that kind of same outsole tread pattern that you'd see, on the outsole. And then don't know what the material of this is, but it feels slightly sort of on the thinner side, which is normally what you'd get, in Air Max 90s anyway. And no wear and time with these. I think they're good to go out of the box, so I feel like you'll be fine. Just once the sort of midsole wears in a bit more, you'll see a lot more flex on that, and just easier to wear. And I do recommend maybe true to size. If you've got like a wide foot like me, then possibly got a half size. But just to point of reference, even with socks on, my toe comes to about here, so I could have went true to size and it probably would have been about here, which is fine as well. But it's just, I just prefer like that extra sort of half size up. It just gives me leniency to wear sort of thicker socks if I need to. And it's also got good traction in terms of the outsole as well, so I wouldn't say it's perfect. It's better than the Air Max 1, there's a little more grip than the Air Max 1, but other than that, it's still fine. It's serviceable, but obviously not compared to today's runners, I suppose. So with the look and style, I do like the OG like colourway. So it's just enough of a twist in my eyes where it kind of looks a little bit different, but still sort of familiar and the same, and not kind of overdone, I guess. And again, this is a good sort of spring summertime sneaker. Like, obviously, like with all runners, you can wear them whenever, but I feel like this particular colourway best served sort of spring summertime. And this is a casual wear sneaker as well, so I won't really be dressing these formal. I think if you had the Sapphire pair, maybe with those ones, but I think this one is kind of more of a casual wear, unless you're wearing sort of a pretty sort of simple outfit. And it comes with like basically these off-white type, almost going towards sort of green tint to them. And yeah, so it kind of matches the inner sock liner as well. Personally, I don't like these particular laces, but you do get another pair in the box, which is kind of more grey white type laces, which I think probably goes better with these in my you know, estimations, I guess. I haven't tried them on yet, but if I was to start wearing them, then I would sort of switch them over. So with the final thoughts, I do like the OG like colourway overall. I think it is a very good looking sneaker, and also I like the wavy pattern. So I think a lot of people weren't too enthused by the wavy pattern from what I saw in terms of reviews, but I feel like it works in my opinion, especially with this particular model. And also I like this little hologram that they got going on. So again, it's just a simple touches, but it works in my opinion, and it's just sort of reflective and holographic, so it changes depending on the light and where you view the angle from. So with the cons, obviously the cost, it's an Air Max 90 at the end of the day. It's not so bad for being a collab, I guess. And I guess this particular colourway isn't for everyone, so you might not be a fan of these. To be honest, like my preference, like I said earlier, was to get the Sapphire pair, but having this pair in hand, I'm kind of glad I went down this route. So with the ratings, I give the look and style a 5. I think they still really work. Maybe not as nice as the original Air Max 1 Patta releases, but I still think it's kind of up there. And the comfort, I'm going to go with a 4. It's not like major comfort, but I still feel like they're nice on foot and probably nicer than the Air Max 1. And the quality, I would go with the 5. It's just because of like the way that it's just been constructed overall. I didn't see too many issues with this particular pair. So yeah, I feel like, you know, obviously it's a runner and the materials are not going to be the greatest, but for what it is, I think they've done well. And the pricing, I'm going to go with a 4. Slightly priced a bit high just for MX 90s in general, but other than that, it's still cool. And overall, I'm still going to give the score a 5. I think it's one of the, you know, sleeper hits of this year, in my opinion. And, you know, later on, when you kind of look at the top 10, or maybe in a few years' time, I think these will be more sort of highly regarded, in my opinion.